A nice big knobthorn. Unfortunately for that knobthorn, it's probably going to fall over in the next year or two because of the elephant stripping that bark. That section that will die, that middle section, and a whole host of boring insects will get in there. And what happens is then a strong wind will come, or it'll just basically rot through, and only a very small section of the tree will still be alive, and it'll fall over. And Jose in Virginia wants to know, how many species of frogs do you get in the water holes? Well, actually permanently in the water holes, and there's lots of food around. So I think in total we've probably got around 20 species of frog.
Now I am hoping that the footprints in the sand here, which are not very easy to see, but we did want to stop and show you them. There's a few little toe prints up there, and then a back pad over here for some time. And we're not... And what I need to do quickly is just change radios, because we are so far away from the final control room now that I need a different radio station. It's all quite a mission. We'll get there eventually. Now we change channels. Now we're good to go. Cool. There's a bit of general game in this area. Well, I wasn't on the right channel initially. Good. Anyway, I'm hoping male. He's a monster male leopard. It looks like it could well be his footprints. It's either him or Tingana, but I've got a feeling that it is Anderson. He's a little bit bigger than Tingana, and his tracks seem to veer down here. And just onto our right here, you can see a few tracks. Here's one. It's not an easy business, this tracking. And he heads straight across into the bush here, so he no longer uses the road. And I'll jump out and show you this is one track here, and the next track's here. Thereafter, I can see a few toe marks there. And then here the ground becomes very, very hard. I mean, even if I push hard or if I stamp my foot, it creates, I mean, it's a lot of effort to leave a track behind you. But the leopard is somewhere in here, and we're going to carry on searching. It looks like he's actually stepped here and come here. And from here, I'm probably going to have to take a closer look. But what I might do now with you is just check on the road. They sometimes veer off the road and then come back onto it. Yes, he's come back on. He's come back on right here. And now, heading down. So we're in luck. He just temporarily veered off the road. And I'll show you his tracks where they come back on shortly. What he probably did was walked up here, scent marked into this bush. Psh, psh. I'm just going to get onto the radio quickly and update Tristan. Tristan, his tracks now head west towards the windmill and I think Saffron Road. So here's where the leopard road. Again, it's not going to be too easy to see, but Vim should be able to see, there we go, where I've kind of scraped a line behind the tracks, and that's just to clearly indicate where the tracks are for anyone who comes here a bit later. We found the professional who is out on foot hoping to find this leopard. What did him for?
1,004.
For how many hours?
2 hours.
2 hours, and you've got your caddy in case.
For my game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, Mumps. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to get in your way here.
Okay.
But He's going down here, huh?
Yeah, you just go down there.
Okay.
I think there's this
Okay.
one on the other side.
Mumps, good luck. Give
Thanks,
us a call
guys.
when you find him.
Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed.
Thank you. Wonderful. Well, doesn't he have a great job heading out walking now? And it's a good opportunity for me to just stop and explain exactly what's going on. A lot of you may be concerned to see this guy walking through the bush alone. We'll be in contact with his guide called Tristan, who I know very well. And of course, if he runs into any trouble, if there are any elephants in the area or any potentially dangerous animals that could be giving a hard time, Tristan is in this immediate kind of area, checking around, listening to mumps, going and checking certain areas and water holes. So it's a very important teamwork between guide and track. Now, back to Tammy's question, who asked, did I do any specific hyena and a lion and a leopard? So you do the very basics to teach, and it takes many, many years to fine-tune and hone. So it's something that I've been continually working on. Finding a big cat whilst on foot is one of the most rewarding things you can do. Learning about the intricacies of tracking, it's an incredibly difficult business. And now, also relating to being on foot, I think it's Sammy or Tammy in Texas. It's of danger, Sammy. Even if a small bird like a francolin flies out of a bush, you get a fright. Just yesterday, even though it could be a francolin or a duiker, you get a lightning bolt of adrenaline surge through your body, and that keeps me very excited, and is what I love about being on foot, is that even a small, non-dangerous animal can get your heart rate pumping. So that's one of the things. I mean, just the fact that you can get close and personal with a lot of the smaller animals, and you're kind of permanently immersed on a smaller and more intense level with your surroundings. You don't have to be nearly as aware driving around in a vehicle like this. You're fairly safe, whereas on foot is obviously following each and every footprint. So what would have happened now, and this is quite nice for everyone to see, is that there goes Mumps. So he's gone straight off this road, and you can see how the road kind of bends like that. So you'll find that probably the leopard's taken a shortcut and it's going to pop back onto the road where it connects up ahead. But Mumps is thankfully doing all the hard work for us, and we're just trailing behind. Okay, well, we're going to hopefully have some good news for you shortly, but in the meantime, we're going to send you across to Brent.
So one of our summer visitors is a little red-backed shrike, migrates from Europe. So if we have any viewers in Europe, you might see those during your summer months. Pretty little birds, quite ferocious little predators if you're an insect. So for those of you who have bird lists, a nice one. If you started it during the winter months that you wouldn't have had, as he's just arrived, off he goes. So we're going into the area where we last had Karila's tracks, and we're going to just slowly move around bird watching, hoping to hear some alarm calls. Oh, from one predatory bird to another with Scott.
Well, this certainly isn't the predator we were expecting to find, but it's an absolute luck that we have. This is a tiny little owlet called a pearl-spotted owlet. And we didn't see those bright little yellow eyes. It had those two dark spots. So that's to make any other animal think that regardless of where that bird is looking, it's always looking at you. So very interesting colorations and patterns on the back of that bird's head. And to give you an idea of size, that owl was tiny. It's probably about this size. 2 tennis balls squeezed together would give you a good idea of its size. It's absolutely tiny. hence the name owlet. We get another one here called the barred owlet, slightly bigger but very similar. During the day, they are not strictly nocturnal, and interestingly enough, they predate quite a lot on actual birds. So other birds, and I've seen one of those tiny owls feeding on a laughing dove, which is basically about the same size as itself. Still here, and there's a strong chance it actually lay up on this termite mound. I've seen Tingana sleeping on this termite mound before. But we're going to send you across to Brent with another flying beast.
Again. And that'll give us. So, come on, butterfly. I might have to disturb it. What do you think, Ryan? That's, yeah, keep a close eye on it, guys. You'll see how beautiful the colors are. I'm just going to go walk in the grass near it. Ooh, I think it might even be a scarlet tip, not a sulfur tip. Still got him, Brian?
No, I've lost it.
Just
now.
to the right. Sitting on the little commelina. Let me show you. Let me just have a look where you're looking.
There you go.
Oh, there he is. A little bit behind it. You can actually see the color coming through. Now, with butterflies, the colotus, if we catch them, we can hurt them. Let me just check what the common name for this guy is. Voltus. Whoever designed this butterfly book definitely did not have user-friendliness in mind. It is quite a nightmare to use. Avina, 120 or 224? 224. And it's just called an orange tip. So not the sulfur tip, an orange tip. So there's so many different types. And you can see, here we go, in other bushes is its host species of plants. So with butterflies and moths, although some of them are sort of, butterfly will only generally lay eggs on the caper bushes. Something like a monarch will almost exclusively do it on milkweeds. And butterflies are one of the hardest because there's such variation even within a species. So good to keep you on your toes, and that's the one thing about summer. There's so many butterflies and bugs about, always something to look at. I was on leave, unfortunately, so I missed you, Carol. And Carol would like to know, the water scorpions out yet? They saw one last year with Peter. I've seen them in our swimming pool, actually. So I've seen 1 or 2 water scorpions. I will keep my eye out at every pond and pan to see if we can find you a water scorpion. Now, water scorpions are not scorpion-like shape. A little white-browed scrub robin calling. Of course, it stops when I start looking for it. A lot of the robins are quite skulking. So, on insects and bugs and arachnids, Paul's wondering if we've seen a golden orb spider yet. I have not, Paul. I've only seen garden orbs so far this year. Oh, I have some oxpeckers. Maybe that means there's a mammal with ox. So here we go. Water scorpions. And number 3 down here is the most common of them. And as you can see, they're hunters. They're pictured with a a tadpole it's caught, but as I said, not scorpions at all, part of the water bug family, but they can get very, very big, and they hunt stuff just below the surface. They are capable of flying between different water points, but they don't do that too often. And once they have water, they prefer to stay there. Yeah. I was wondering, are there any herbaceous or herbivore birds? Lots. One that you would know, especially living up in Johannesburg. So Lily says she's hoping that, as you're wondering where James and Andrew are, unfortunately the walk backpack is experiencing some technical difficulties and the guys are trying to fix it at the moment. Hear some alarm calls. Seeing a lot of milkweed grasshoppers on one of the dam cams, and I think the milkweed locusts, are they adults or they nymphs? So I'll show you the difference. Locusts, there we go. Common milkweed locust, and we get a couple of different types. So I'm not sure which dam cam you're looking at. Sorry, my shadow's in the way there. So there's the common milkweed locust. That is the adult, and they are quite big. And then the nymph stage is this yellow little guy next to them, and you can often find them in great numbers, the little nymphs. And then any this year. So keep a lookout. Come on, Kuruda. Where are you hiding? Oh, we've got a nice bird call going. I'm just going to stop on the wall here. Down in the drainage line below us. Another one of our summer migrants. Well, I think I might actually spot it, Brian. So, Brian, if you zoom right-hand side of the drainage line. Okay, keep going. And a little bit to the left and up. There we go. That's very far away. Keep, and up. And a little up. That is the culprit. It is an African black cuckoo. And that was one that was calling and sitting there going, oh, quickly, Brian, there's a cuckoo here, flopping around in this quarry. That is a, I'm so sad. They're right at the back, and it's probably going to pop up in that top section if you go a bit higher. And this bird we're seeing now is quite often called the rainbird. So they have a tendency to call a lot just before and just after storm. Just going to sneak forward. There it is. Oh, there you go, Birchall's cuckoo. Old Murphy's Law. Off it goes. So the birds are out and about today. Birchall's cuckoo, called the rainbird sometimes. Oh my goodness, Brian, a mammal! And it's a male impala. And you can see, there we go, impala are both browsers and grazers. And that's why they're so successful. They're able to take advantage of leaves and grass, depending what is most available at the time. Right, while he moves off and we do the same, let's go see what Scotty's been up to.
Welcome back, everyone. Sadly, it looks like this male leopard has veered far too west for us to keep following him. He's gone into a no-go zone for us, but it was fun while it lasted, and who knows, we could possibly bump into another leopard around this next corner. There's many different leopards that we can see in this area. Shadow, Tingana, Anderson, and not only leopards but many other animals. So it's important not to get hell-bent on willing to receive whatever Mother Nature, leopards and lions, but this morning it doesn't appear that it's meant to be just yet. Probably going to start easing our way back towards Djuma now. We are on our northern boundary here, so we cannot go any further north. It's a pretty... no. Well, the bird that I wanted to show is the same one that I tried to show you earlier, the cinnamon-breasted bunting. We'll get it later, or at some stage, but for now, we're going to hustle you back to Brent, who's found some primates.
So we've got one of our little primates now, a little vervet monkey, up in East Africa, quite often referred to as green monkeys, doing south of us. Find a spot where we can get a nice visual. Where's he going, sneaky monkey? Oh, he's standing up and watching us from behind that bush. There you go. Maybe he'll walk out into the open now. So busy foraging. They'll forage both on the ground and in trees. And they are, like a lot of primates, omnivores. So they will eat meat, insects. They will eat baby birds and eggs. Fine. Oopsie, bump, bump. How's that, Brian? Thought of it? I'll just try to get that stick a little bit off way. There we go. They spot her. They'll explode in a cacophony of alarm calls. For me, they are absolutely fascinating animals to watch. They all could have a bit of a funny tummy, that's why he's eating the grass. And that is a male, as he quietly ambles on his way. Oh, has he seen someone to go chase? He could, by the looks of things, he's off to chase another monkey. Or the other option is that ground there is quite open, so it doesn't like being too far from a tree, but he's able to climb in time of trouble, so you quite often find them moving a little bit faster over very open ground away from big trees. But now we've got these guys in position here. If they see Krula or any other leopard in this area, immediate alarm calls will start sparking. My gut says she's gone into this very thick little section off to our west here. And there's 2 or 3 small dongas or drainage lines. Near impossible to get a vehicle in. But ideal habitat if you're a leopard. There's a new viewer. Mildred would like to know if I've ever had any animals try get into the car with me. I have every day, Mildred, and every day. Lots of insects, especially living in the bush since I was about 4 years old. So, not yet. And I'd like to keep it that way. So we've chatted all about bugs and disease this morning. And I've got a question for you guys. So we all know malaria comes from malaria. And you can tell me what the definition of that word is. And you can send your answers through via email to questions@wildearth.tv or use the hashtag SafariLIVE. Little critter. Let's see if I can see one that's a bit more in the open. Africa's smallest member of off it goes. Off foraging. They have a very unique way of sorting out who's going to be the new alpha. So if the male alpha dies or the female alpha dies, the next replacement comes in. Normally there's quite a distinct difference between instead of fighting to the death like most animals would, who can be the most loving will take that alpha position, and when they do it, it can often go on for a day or two, and literally...
Alarm calling here. Looks like it could be a big cobra or possibly even a black mamba. Now, the problem is that VM has spotted it, but I'm not sure where it is in real. Awesome stuff. We don't get to see snakes very often. And there was a whole bunch of birds alarm calling here. How are we looking here, VM?
That's it.
Okay. Okay. Oh, there he is, straight in front of us. It looks like a black mamba to me. It's got a very coffin-shaped head. And what I'm tempted to do is try and... I'm not really. You can see its tongue flickering out every second or so. Incredible. It's about 2.5 meters long. And probably at its thickest part is about the circumference of a golf ball. And this snake, if it is to bite you, there is a strong chance it will be the end of your time here on this planet. They've got a very highly neurotoxic venom that will cause all of your vital organs to stop working. So you do not want to be bitten by the snake. You do not want to take any chances with this kind of a snake. And that's why we're keeping our distance. Look at what a great view we've got here now. And thank you to the birds that were alarm calling around us. They've all kind of stopped now. There was a host of different birds that caused me to drive off in here. And well done to VM for actually spotting the snake. He calmly said to me, Scott, there's a massive slung, which is snake in Afrikaans, just ahead of us. And I hadn't told him why I had come off already. Obviously, it worked out something was up. And isn't it awesome that we are now getting the best visuals ever in the year that I've been here of one of the most deadly snakes, one of the most spoken about snakes, the black mamba. For now, what I think it's doing is almost like playing dead. It's keeping still, hoping that we haven't seen it. But we can see you, black mamba. This is so awesome. They're incredibly fast snakes and also quite aggressive. So not only are they highly, highly venomous, here it goes, here it goes. I love watching snakes slither. They've got the most incredible ability to be able to move so fluidly and so quickly. This is epic. Look at how fast it is. And almost just like that, further left VM against the dead log. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to try and keep an eye on it. You got it there, VM?
No. It's
Oh, it's far, VM, to the left, far to the left there. It's remarkable how quickly it moves. There it is, head up. And it seems to be hunting again. You can hear a virtual starling coming in. Look at this, it's coming straight towards us. Well done on camera there, VM. This is just too good to be true. And it's remarkable how far away it was in such a short space of time. Now it's going into the next bunch of dead branches. You may get a glimpse of it in there, but I think that is the end of our black mamba sighting. Hold on 1 second, though. I'm not giving up just yet. Just need to reposition the vehicle quickly. Somewhere in these dead branches, there it is, VM. Right here. I think it's trying to go into this termite mound. Yep. It's trying to find an escape route. We are so close to it. Look at this. Can you believe it? VM, that was awesome, buddy. Everyone, and it could well be that it knows this exact burrow, and that's why it came here when it felt that its cover had been blown. Absolutely awesome stuff. They're highly territorial snakes, these. So next time we're driving through this area, if we do hear any birds chirping, we'll be sure to come in and have a close look. But what's interesting about this is that so often we respond to birds' alarm calling, but so infrequently actually find anything. And the speed that this snake was moving, and even once we had seen it, we could lose it so quickly, just like that. It moved like 5 or 6 meters within a space of seconds. VM and I were still looking basically in the dark ages, and it was way, way ahead in the future, left us behind in a cloud of snake dust. But we did learn a lot from that sighting, I guess, and get to see one of the most venomous snakes in Africa, the black mamba. Hooray! We don't really get many snake sightings, and very few of that quality. I mean, from here to where that hole is, I mean, we were a meter actually. Well, Alyssa, thank you very much for your kind words, saying that Scott has won the morning safari. It's not a competition, Alyssa, but I am very happily going to pass that information on to Brent. I think I might actually try and do it now. Brent for Scott.
Saying bye.
Brent, just to let you know, we got some feedback from Melissa, and she says I have won the morning safari with the black mamba sighting.
Oh, it's okay, Scotty. Brian and I are going to get nice.
Got to eat you later. Okay, Alyssa, well, there we go. Message passed on to Brent. His response, I'm not sure if you heard it, was the same as his response when he was defeated by James in a recent battle. And it was that Brian and Brent are winning at the competition of life in general, not just this small little competition that we're taking up today. Again, well done, VM, on spotting that snake. I initially thought it was a python, but I was pleasantly surprised by the black mamba. As much as I would love to show you an African rock python, and as much as it would be an easier sighting to conduct because they're not as fast moving and not as dangerous, so we would have been able to possibly usher or herd a python into a good spot. With black mambas, just going to say good morning to Andrew quickly. Morning, Andrew.
Hello.
Very good. How are you doing?
Good, I'm very well.
Wonderful. Nice to see you again.
Nice to
Hello,
see you.
everyone.
Anything exciting out there?
Not too much, eh? Not too much. Nothing on Arethusa.
All right.
So I've just been across there.
All right, cool. I mean, there was some door crossing into Arethusa, right? Just before Zebra Drive.
Okay, awesome.
So there is a 3 Mamba on the side, but I can speak to Andrew or they must be unlocked.
Cool. Thanks, Andrew. Cheers, everyone. Have a great morning.
Good morning, guys. Thank you.
Such a wonderful guy, Andrew. Good. another 30 minutes or so of safari action. What will it hold? Good question through from Mandy asking whether we get the green mamba, the cousin of the black mamba. They're the only, not the only two mambas. You get one or two other species, but the green and the black are the most common mambas in South Africa. And we sadly do not get the green mamba here. They live in coastal areas, so you need to be quite close to the coast in order to see the green mamba. But black mambas you'll find occurring also in green mambas populations. So black mambas you do find on the coast as well. They've got a much wider demographic than the green mamba. Also highly venomous, the green mamba though. This is awesome. I'm not too sure what the large eagle on the right is. An adult Bateleur on the top right of the tree. I can see its head up there. VM spotted it before me. You can see the red beak. There must be something dead here. It was in this very same tree that Tingana, a male leopard, hoisted a young zebra foal last year, just before I arrived. But the fact that these three birds are sitting here makes me wonder, what do they know? What is nearby? Is there some carrion? Is there a kill that they're hoping to scavenge on? There's a strong chance there is. Now the reason why I say that this larger of the two raptors is a steppe eagle is because it looks to me like the gape, that yellow line on the mouth, extends past the back of that brown eye. If it was a tawny eagle, which is generally more shaggy and lighter in color, that gape would stop midway below the eye. So this is a steppe eagle, and the scary thing is that they have come all the way from the steppe mountains in Russia. That's thousands and thousands of miles away from here. They also occur in China and surround, like the red-backed shrike that you're looking at earlier with Brent's. Those also move huge distances. Okay, now I can't resist the opportunity to snoop around here a little bit. So let's drive around a little bit and see if there isn't a leopard lurking nearby with a kill. Like I say, for all three of these birds to be here, there must have been something that happened. Something went down here. What, I'm not too sure. Where, I'm not too sure. But it shouldn't be too far away. One thing though with responding to birds, especially large birds like this that could be alerting you to a possible kill, is that they will land in the most comfortable tree. And the most comfortable tree may be some distance away from the kill. What's going on now? I also want to show you the adult Bateleur. We should be able to get you a great view of here. Look at those colors. Awesome stuff. Now what's interesting, this is a young Bateleur. When I say young, I'm not sure exactly how old. Possibly a couple of years. But they only get their adult plumage when they're about 8 years of age. So it's still got a lot of growing to do. Okay, let's keep looking around here. Like I said, the kill or whatever's attracted them to this area might be a couple of meters away. take him off now. I can't see anything at first glance, so... No, copying nothing from FC. So, obviously there's something wrong with my comms. I'm not too sure what it could be. And due to those comms problems, I think we should send you across to Brent while I try and work out what's going on with my audio.
So it seems like the Queen is keeping us guessing. And we've left that area now. I mean, we saw monkey, we saw impala, and no sign of her. Ooh, elephant tracks. Let's go have a look down here. Maybe we'll find some ellies. So hoping to see some wildies, maybe with some more babies. Those females were looking very pregnant. To Vancy, Lily, Gilly and Patty, Linda and Patty, who have got the correct answer to what malaria means. It comes from mal and aria, disease of the bad air. And why it was believed to be like that. Oh, Brian's got a tiny little assassin bug. Be careful, they bite.
Yeah.
It's the same species I think I saw yesterday in the car. Let's try to get him. Actually, not working. Where can I be? Where to go? About here.
Back a little bit. Yeah.
So you can see how his proboscis is recurved underneath his face there. So that's what it will insert into other insects and literally suck the juices out of them. This is the exact same species that Verm and I saw yesterday in the vehicle. He's got a very speckled bottom. And he's moving and very difficult, I'm afraid, too small. But we don't want you to bite us. So the problems with assassin bugs is they have very dirty mouth parts. So when they bite you, it quite often gets infected. Disease of the bad air, malaria. And the reason it got that name is that when the first Europeans came to Africa, they assumed that it was bad air in the low-lying areas, from the swamps, from the rivers, not from the mosquitoes. And then for a while it was thought to be caused by a fever tree. Oh, hello little ones. So a fever tree into Mozambique, and it's got a very fine yellow dust on the bark, and when the wind blows it settles on the water. So for a while that was what was thought to be causing the disease. So even though they're almost newborn, they've already started feeding on grass a little bit, and they will obviously be mostly reliant on mother's milk, but they are weaned quite quickly. Let's see if we can stick a little bit closer. They should be getting more and more used to us, specifically the quarantine impala. Let's see. Time. So look at that, a lovely little bit of grooming there between a female and her baby. Oh, look at that. But we're gonna leave these impala and cross back to Scott.
Welcome back, everybody. And I had a a bit more of a look around in that area of the eagle and the bateleurs, but couldn't come up with anything, so maybe there was a little snack that they'd already consumed and were just relaxing in that tree. And sadly, due to some technical issues on the various platforms that you can watch on, some of you didn't catch the names of those eagles. It was a juvenile Bateleur eagle and an adult Bateleur eagle. That was the one with the red face, and the other similar shaped one. The other one with the kind of yellow beak and yellow cere was the steppe eagle, which has come all the way from Russia. So it's traveled a long way to come and visit us here in our South African summer. So those are the three eagles in the tree. And good indicators of leopard kills, even sometimes lion kills, but it's not always the case. And I have just been chatting about that snake sighting that we were also lucky to share with one another, and absolutely mesmerized by its speed. We were meters behind it at some stages, and Raisa was also mentioning how fascinated they were by the speed of the snake, and Nicole mentioned that it should be called the cheetah snake, and I think that's not a bad idea, Nicole. It is remarkably quick, and I'm certainly very happy that we do not fall prey to the deadly black mamba. I could think of nothing worse than being slithered after, running for my life with one of those chasing me. Interestingly, the defense technique when you're driving around is that they'll often just rear up, and they can stand about half their body length vertically. So if it's a 3-meter snake, it can stand 1.5 meters up in the air quite easily, and that's a scary thought. I've had trackers sitting on the tracker seats of the vehicles come tumbling back to a safe place once we have startled 1 or 2 black mambas in the past. Matthew in LA, and Matthew's interested to know if we carry anti-venom, and we don't. It doesn't really make sense for us to carry anti-venom here because we don't have the necessary qualifications to administer it. You need to be a doctor, and you generally only want to be administering anti-venoms when you do have life support systems available, because the risk of your patient going into anaphylactic anaphylactic shock is very high, and you therefore need life support when administering antivenom. So it's far more useful for us here to have good methods in place as to what to do if there is a snake bite, and basically that is to rush off to a hospital as soon as possible. And I'd suggest and urge everyone to treat snake bites or any bite the same way. Just go to a professional as soon as possible, and even out here where we're quite secluded, it shouldn't take us too long to get to some kind of health care. With the black mamba though, the good news is that as long as somebody continues breathing for you and oxygenating your body, you should be fine. So what would typically happen with a black mamba bite is your ability to breathe and your ability to function yourself will stop. It attacks your nervous system and all of your organs will stop working. But if somebody just breathes for you with a bladder, there's an agama in the road. You usually only see them up in trees, so this one is obviously between between jobs on its way from one tree to another. As I was saying though, with the black mambas, as long as somebody continues breathing for you, and they can breathe for you for hours, even though you may appear dead and you may be kind of clinically dead, as long as blood is pumping through your body, you should be fine. Wasn't that awesome watching this a gama scuttle across the road there? Look at the colorations. Another wonderful reptile, and there's some great feedback coming from a lot of you saying it's your first time seeing a snake like that and that you really enjoyed it, so that's awesome stuff. I wonder if there's not another agama lizard wherever this one's heading off to. What they often do is shake their head up and down, kind of a head bobbling technique, and they'll do that when there is another tree agama nearby, but at the moment, this one seems to be... Where are you waddling off to? This is really cool. They're usually, like I say, up in trees, hence the name tree agama. But this one could be in search of a lady. It is that time of the year. I just wish I could see another one. I'm almost certain it's moving for a reason. I don't know exactly why. And I fear it's going to continue moving quite slowly while we here. So we'll carry on and leave it in peace. It's obviously quite intimidated by the large beast that is this vehicle that we're driving around in. We need to rush you off to something epic. Enjoy.
Guys, we've just missed a wildebeest birth. You can still see the placenta hanging out the back. Look at it. It's literally seconds it's been born. There we go. You can see the placenta hanging out the back of the wildebeest. And we can hear the little me. Oh, listen to him. Oh, look at that. Isn't this incredible? Look at that. Not even minutes from birth and thirsty. We must have literally missed it dropping by a matter of 30, 40 seconds. You can see how wet and shiny the little guy still is. And you can still see the placenta hasn't quite fallen out of mom yet. Look at that. Look how amazing that is, how sure on its feet that little guy is, even seconds after birth. So eventually that placenta will drop off, and the female will then eat it to try and mask the smell. But I'm not going to drive off-road in there. Obviously, she's just given birth, and we want to be very sensitive to that. And we've all been chatting about who's going to get a wildebeest birth or close, but we missed it by 30 seconds. So you can still see the placenta hanging there. I can still hear those little contact calls. Looks like the rest of the herd's going to move across the road, so I'm going to reposition us to be in front of them so they walk towards us. Electronica says it's shades of Brian's mom and Brian. We've got some Nyala here as well. Hello, Nyala Lars. You're very pretty, but we're not that interested in you right now. Here she comes, behind the Nyala. She's going to come out to the open a bit more up ahead, so I'm just going to shoot. And there's some zebra behind as well. Isn't this amazing? You can see how unsteady little guy is on his feet. But imagine that, I mean, that's 5 minutes old now and still able to walk. You've got to be able to stand up quickly out here in the bush. See how the female's ushering away the young one from last year. Probably quite curious, maybe a little headbutt. Stay away from the new baby. It's not ready for playing yet. Oh, and see the baby sometimes gets confused. When the other one ran away, it almost followed it. Yeah, those little calls. Where? See the zebra behind. I think it's almost worth spending a whole drive with this wildebeest herd, because I think in the next couple of days they're all going to drop. Look at that. So she's moving deeper into the thick bush, and I said we're not going to try follow and stress her out now. She's just given birth. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that incredible? Nice, Brian. Nice. I think we should almost have a vehicle sitting on the wildebeest herd to catch a birth. So the rest of the herd spread out through the bush here. Mandy would like to know, can wildebeest give birth to twins? Or there's a little one running around a bit older, a bit more stable on its feet. It is possible, just highly unlikely, Mandy. And they do sometimes, but it is unlikely, unusual. And there's that tiny baby at the back with mom really getting stuck into the suckling. Off it goes. And there we go. The latest addition to the Juma family by literally minutes. I think we'll give them some space now. Okay. Absolutely amazing. No cats, but literally 40 seconds after birth, wildebeest. And that's probably the closest we've come to a birth this year. You can still see the placenta attached. There's still quite a long umbilical cord on that little guy. And we saw that placenta hanging. Maggie would like to know how long before the placenta comes away. I would probably think in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. And this is, as that falls, she'll probably feed on it. I think I know what the squirrel is alarming at. Yeah, there's a bird of prey. Oh, it's disappearing. A little Wahlberg's eagle was flying past. But absolutely stunning. What a great way to end off the sunrise safari. Thank you very much, Alyssa. Well done. We see, the thing is, the reason why Brian and I win so often is because we never panic and we just carry on about. And thanks very much. So we pipped it at the end there. Sorry, Scotty. Next time. And quickly before we close, I wanted to check whether there had been some other new arrivals at Juma. And there might be. There's a Wahlberg eagle nest. Very vocal this morning. That's what that squirrel was alarm calling at. It's a pale morph Wahlbergs. You can hear a calling there, that do-do-do-do-do-do, and that high-pitched so that's not actually the nest, that's last year's nest they're sitting on. And if we look a little bit higher, that's this year's nest. You can see a bit better constructed. They'll often nest in the same places. But goodbye, Wahlberg's eagles, and goodbye to everyone out there. It's been fantastic. Don't forget to join us for the Sunset Safari. And what an amazing morning, and great to get that first little baby wildebeest 45 seconds after birth, and hopefully someone will be able to catch one live. See you on the Sunset Safari.